was so good to see you
Let
in
me tell you.
person.
First, I want to introduce you to my daughter. This is Ashley. This is my
Hi.
partner.
Really.
Nice to meet you, Jackie.
Nice to meet you.
Jackie, honest to God, you did not disappoint whatsoever. You know how to throw a party, Jackie.
Balance like the party and the business, right? Like I
Yes,
always got
yes.
to work on and but it's just we yeah, this year was great. Everything
Yes,
was
it absolutely was. I tell you. Just briefly, Jackie, just remind our audience who you are.
yeah. My name's Jackie Williams, and I am the event vice president for BCB Brooklyn.
Okay, Jackie. All right, we're going to jump right into. I was just sharing when I got back. I was so excited and told Ashley all about it. I'm like, there was so much to do. You just didn't know which way to go.
Yeah, there's a lot going
A
on.
lot going on. All right, we're going to start off with our icebreaker as we normally do. Just share with me some fun, memorable moments and what particular experiences did you have that were really stood out to you in that moment.
Yeah, so I think that my favorite moment of every event, no matter what event it was, what year it was, in all of my years in trade shows and events, has been as soon as we open the doors and we start letting all of the visitors into the event and
Right.
they're looking around and they're like, oh my gosh, look at these booths, look at this education schedule, look at all of my friends that I haven't seen in real life in so long. So just I would say that's like my always my favorite part.
Right.
So that was amazing. I think a couple of other highlights when I went over to Building 5, where we host our education, Jordan Hughes was hosting a session on one of the liquid lounges about photography. And there were so many people like trying to peek through the curtains because it was
Right.
so full and so busy. And then like all of the recaps on social that I saw about that session and how much everyone liked it. So that was amazing. I mean, education as a whole was really, really great this year. I'm really proud of what our education committee was able to pull together. And then the night before we open a show, our operations team and I walk around and we just make sure that, the aisles look clear, that there's not
Yeah.
garbage in an aisle or like all the booths, everything's looking good. And just seeing all of the builds, the brands crushed it this year.
They
They're,
crushed it.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
like the creativity, the branding, the experiential
It was
elements, like all
beautiful.
of that was just it was stunning. They all did a really, really nice job.
It was aesthetically pleasing. I mean, from
Yes.
someone who wasn't there, who was looking at it from the outside in, scrolling through the page and the socials, just it was like pop in my eyes. The colors, the
Yeah.
spirits, the drinks, the photography, like you were mentioning, like it was gorgeous, and I had FOMO. I, I did. I had FOMO. It was beautiful. It looked like the place to be.
It was awesome. I look forward just to welcoming you next year.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Absolutely. I'd love to come. I'd love to come. So how would you evaluate the overall success of the event?
Our team's really happy with how everything turned out. I think, we heard some feedback in 23 that we needed more restrooms, we needed more food options, we needed more space for folks to be able to sit and network and chat. So air conditioning, you never know what June's going to be like in New York City.
Yeah.
So operationally, we really listened to all of those. I think we improved on all of those areas. Of course, there's always room for improvement. But I think our biggest way to say how we feel a show is what our customers are saying, right? So
Mhm.
for the most part, we're hearing positive feedback from our exhibiting brands, as well as our visitors. So I think overall, we're really pleased and we're already starting to plan for 25 and just trying to make some enhancements and make things even bigger and better for 25. So
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I can tell you my own personal experience with the QR code. That was wonderful because even the follow up after Bar Convent, yes, it was perfect because you gave all the information from the person that you may have spoke to and so forth. And that brand that was really good. That was ingenious.
we've always done some sort of exhibitor led lead retrieval, but we
Mm-hmm.
started visitor led lead retrieval this year. Um, Kind of close to the event, we found out we were able to do it on a
Okay.
booth level, on both a
Yeah.
booth level and with some sponsorships and with some education. So we look forward to continuing to roll that out for the future and on a
Yeah.
larger scale.
Yeah.
But
That
I
was a
love
nice.
that feedback.
I think it's really cool that it was broad and all encompassing because there are so many different aspects that people can learn from, and it being inclusive in that way, I think was really wonderful. So, what were some particular challenges? I mean, there's always an uphill battle with something, right? So, what was something that you found challenging, and how did you solve it?
I think one of the challenges that a lot of events have is registration, and the physical on-site registration of it, right? Like obviously we're a 21 plus event, so we do have to age verify every single person that comes, which does slow down the process, but obviously it's something we have to do. So we noticed that the lines in 23 were very long. And so in order to combat that for 24, I think like made registration 2.5 times larger. We
Mm.
added more scan and go kiosks. We added more staff. There was still lines. People still waited a little longer than I would like in the New York sun. But we're already working on better plans for 25 because we do want to make sure everyone does have a good experience, especially when they first get there.
Mhm.
But I mean, like any large scale event, there's always challenges in a lead up and during an event, and it's just the nature of what we do. I'm really lucky that my team is amazing.
Yes, they are.
They all really are the best of the best in the industry and are
Mhm.
really equipped to handle anything that's thrown at them. And
Mhm.
I always say, like, there's solutions. Let's just work through them.
Mhm.
I know that there may have been challenges, but I think once you walked into the door and you saw the yard and all the excitement and all the color and everybody smiling, listen, and everyone was so inviting as soon as you walked in. And I think that's a key thing to remember that, there's always going to be a line when you're going into an event. You know what I mean? But once you get there, you made it a very, very memorable experience.
What were some of the new features and additions that you added this year that you may not have had last year? Like I saw that claw, I think it was the White Claw booth.
Yeah.
That was super cool and super fun.
That was cool. I think a lot of the brands brought new, creative, and
Yeah, they
different.
brought their A game.
They brought their A plus game. But from a show management perspective, we excuse me, launched the BCB Brooklyn Street Party, which happened Tuesday afternoon. We had some live music and some yard games and some pizza bites, and folks were able to interact with the brands that were on 34th Street. So that was something new that we did. We also added the writer's block where 15 authors showcased their books. They sold their books, they signed their books, gave folks an opportunity to meet some of those authors in person, which was great. And then we also, as far as education, like I mentioned earlier, we did 50 education sessions across the main stage, the two liquid lounges, and Park Street University. But something new that we added was it was a lunch and learn session called How Do I Get Everyone to Care as Much as I Do, which was keys to effective and fun leadership. It was a separately ticketed event. It came with a goodie bag, lunch, and the feedback for that session was really good. So we're looking of how we can expand those types of sessions. And then I think there's just always really fun experiences. Like for instance, Screwball took over the 5-6 courtyard on day one. So that was Tuesday, which was like a fun, playful element with cocktails and games like skee ball and a screwball puppeteer. So that was cool.
How did?
There's tons of other things.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
sure.
course. But there's no way we
long.
can.
We don't have enough time in the day to go over everything.
How did you ensure like a positive and enriching experience for both your returning attendees, but also the newcomers like Mom?
Right, for sure. So I think the diverse array of speakers and seminars and education discussions that are curated by leaders in the industry, they really represent various perspectives and backgrounds, which provide immense value to both veterans and newcomers. And whether as a first-time attendee or returning participant, I just think that BCB Brooklyn truly is invaluable for the experience for any industry professional. It just provides a wealth of knowledge and inspiration for folks to take back and build their brands, whether that's on a personal level or a business level. with the new and latest trends and how to better and grow the hospitality industry.
No, it's certainly, I mean, just from looking at your socials and hearing from Mom's experience, I can tell that she definitely wants to come back, and I definitely want to join you next time around. How did the exhibitors feel about it, your partners? What was the feedback from them?
I mean, we thankfully received really positive and great feedback from our exhibitors and partners.
Good.
I think the venue really is helpful for that, right? There's ample space, they're able to expand and grow. It's just Industry City is just a really fun and vibrant place to have the event. And there's so much to do there. I love that venue. And we do we send out a post-show survey so that we do get everyone's feedback, but then we try to do debrief calls with as many folks as we can so that we can apply any of those feedbacks and learning, or try to apply any of those feedbacks and learnings to continue to enhance the next year's experience.
So that was my next question. How do you use that feedback to enhance the next session, next bar convent?
Honestly, I read every single word of every single survey. They are anonymous, so I don't always know who they are. Sometimes I can tell who they might be. But for both visitors and exhibitors alike, we read every single one. And then, like I said, we do a bunch of internal debriefs with each of our departments. We try to have as many calls with our customers after the fact to talk about their feedback. We get together as a team and we write our strategy for 25. And, there's parts of it that we're talking about 26 and 27 in there as well. And, there's some things that we need to change. There's some learnings that we have from the event. And we're in the process of rolling those out internally.
Okay.
And then we'll be sure to share them on a larger scale once we're ready to do so.
Great.
So, I mean, you mentioned the booths were successful, but you also mentioned the highlight of learning about the photography. How did that come to your mind, saying, hey, this might be a cool education moment?
We've actually worked with Jordan for 2 years. And that's just one example of the 50 plus panels that we had. So we worked with him for a few years. I think he spoke in 23 as well as 24. So we've just garnered a great relationship with him. I know he's really respected in the industry. So we love being able to have him at the event and share his knowledge, because he really does have a nice skill set. But like I said, we had 50 other sessions that really ran the gamut of a variety of topics, from industry trends to health and well-being and mental health, and all different types of spirits categories. So I think it was a pretty robust and broad education committee, and something that there was at least one thing for everyone. But those sessions were packed this year. I gotta say, we're trying to make those stages a little bigger so we can fit some more folks in some seats. Communication is really important, right? And we're not trying to flood like everyone's inbox with a million emails from us. So I think on a visitor level, our social media is a great place to see and hear and know everything that's going on about the event. For our VIPs, there's a one-on-one relationship with our attendee acquisition manager. She's always available to chat with them. Our PR agency and our marketing team are always available to chat. I mean, my email address is the top one on our contact us page. I think I respond to every single email that I get. If you want to hop on a call, I'm happy to do so. And then from a sponsor and exhibitor perspective, they each have a dedicated sales rep, a dedicated customer success rep. And like I said, like, they're not just, hey, let's send a contract. Like, these are friendships and relationships that we've built, and we genuinely care about our customers and want to know what our event as Bar Convent Brooklyn can bring to them. And their feedback's invaluable. If we don't hear their feedback, like, we're not just making this event for us, it's for our customers. So we want to hear, and we're our ears and phones and emails are always open for that. I mean, I think there's some themes that come out pretty strongly from what we're hearing. So those will be like our top line things. And we'll place a couple bets of changes that we want to make, and then we get down to the granular of like, how do we do a cooler photo moment? Like, oh, I saw this online. I mean, there's things that I've seen at like my grocery store And I'm
Mhm.
like, wait, that would be cool if we like change it and
Mhm.
make it relatable to our event. And,
Mhm.
we just want to create memorable and exciting experiences that, drive networking, drive business. And, we know that BCB Brooklyn's fun, but we've got to balance the party with the business. So,
Yeah.
Photo moment. What else are you thinking?
there's a photo moment that I like drew on a piece of paper on Tuesday.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out how to make that happen. Thankfully, we've got a little time, like
I
the
can't wait to hear about this.
BCB letters and the floral background are amazing, right? But as we
Yeah.
can expand, we want to make sure there's a couple of different areas for photo moments. It's how do we expand the street party? How do we update the layout for registration, like I said, to make it a little bit more streamlined from that perspective. I think there's definitely some technology and digital solutions, like we talked about earlier, collect that we want to continue to enhance. But from, an activation and on-site experience, like we are adding an additional hall. We are making our emerging brands area a bit larger to
Mhm.
accommodate more new and up and coming brands. We're working through how to do a larger dedicated area for no and low. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we're starting to work through, but some of them are still in our brains. We've got to start putting them to paper too, and then put them into action. But I promise there'll be tons of amazing new things.
Yeah.
Everyone loves those BCB letters. I mean,
Yeah.
we did a team photo before the event opened on Tuesday morning,
Uh-huh.
and we waited in line because our exhibitors were taking
Doing
pictures
it.
with.
Yeah. It's like,
I know. At one point, right when I met you, like three other people were like, Jackie, Jackie, Jackie. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like a celebrity. Like, what's going on? No, but
oh
I
God.
love being able to see people in person and chat with them in person. Like, obviously, this is amazing that we
Yeah.
get to do this, but it's nothing like an in-person hug.
Right.
We're good.
Oh, we're good.
But that's
All of the above, right?
yeah.
Like we're social for sure to see what brands and other events, and I'm not even just saying spirits events, are doing, going to bars, talking to customers, going to other events. And then, but also internally, we work for a large trade show company, RX. And, we try to go to some of our other events as well and talk with our peers and hearing what they're doing. And, how do you turn something a little bit to make it work for your industry? I think there's a lot of really cool best practices and ideas that we can see and, things that in our everyday life. And I really believe in let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but we'll never know unless we try. But I think that we don't want to same as last year for the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Like we want to keep it new, we want to keep it fresh. What are the important topics? What are the new topics? What are the new launching products? And try to ensure that we're providing something that our customers, visitors, and exhibitors alike can't get anywhere else.
Right.
I think that, we did see some pretty significant visitor and exhibitor growth. We definitely want to continue to target those. We did see a large influx of first-time attendees as well, so we want those folks to come back. I think there's, bartenders are really at our core, and we saw a 29% increase in that. We also saw a 51% increase from the distributor job function. And we know the distributors, bartenders, distributors, they're very important to all of our customers. So we'll continue to push that. But this is also part of the conversations that we're having with our customers. Who do they want to see? Whether it's a specific person, a specific bar, or a specific job function. Like those types of feedback are really helpful for us because then we can go after that. We love to see returning folks come back to the event year after year. So trying to get those, focusing on our retention numbers is really important. But I do think, we want all of those folks that I mentioned to come. We are putting an additional emphasis on the no and low sector. I think we did an okay job of it for 24. We're going to do a much better job of it for 25. But, there's still emerging trends that we don't want to leave out by any means. So we'll keep our finger on the pulse as much as we can and try to reflect those into the event. Fail better, faster. Try something new. If it doesn't work, try again in a different way. If it doesn't work, then try something else completely different. And we're really lucky to have those opportunities to learn from our mistakes. And we have like I mentioned earlier, we have a great team that, if I have a small idea, they're going to make it this grandiose idea and execute it very well. So I'm really lucky about that. I also think the other thing is that without putting our customers first, like I said, like this event's not just for Jackie Williams, right? Yes, I love it, but at the end of the day, how are we creating magical experiences, magical memories, magical networking, magical business opportunities with a little bit of fun in there as well for all of our customers? I think that is the most important thing that we do. For the summer, so I love laying by the pool or the beach with a book.
Okay.
I like some reality TV to zen out.
Yeah.
It's just trying to make the most of it. I'm really lucky that I get to work in such an amazing industry. So a lot of the time it doesn't even really feel like work.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky with that. I'm not going to say there's not long hours or
Yeah.
long phone calls or things that we have to find a solution for. Of course, that's what a job is, right?
Yeah.
So, but just try to make the most of it all.
Right. Learning.
Yeah, it's the people. It's the people, right?
energy.
And it's like our internal team, when they're really proud of something they've put together and they've done a great job. They've come up with something new, whether that's like an awesome social post or they got an exhibitor to grow from a 56 square foot booth to 100 square foot because their business is growing. Like that's what I want to hear. Like that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me energized is those kind of stories and the personal connections and the friendships that I've made. No, I think that the team and I like couldn't be happier with the successes of the 24 events. And we're really grateful for everyone that attended, contributed to making this a memorable experience. I think it was really nice to see the industry at the reunion, to display such energy and creativity and camaraderie. It just is really inspiring for me and my team. And I look forward to seeing everyone in June of 25 at Industry City.
Well,
It's lovely to talk to you. It was great to see you in June, and I look forward to staying in touch and seeing you again soon.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. You take care now,
yes,
okay?
Jackie, enjoy
Thank
the
you.
rest of your
Thank
day.
you.
All right.
Bye, you
Bye.
too. Cheers.